Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lynn Loves You, finally. I'm your host, Lynn Broughton, and I apologize for the long absence of new content on my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to explain why that happened. First, I will say, I know that you don't need to watch my videos or read my tweets for your lives to be fulfilled. I don't want to come across as arrogant that way when I say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I haven't made videos for you." But no, it's not that way at all. Several people have checked up on me and have wondered why I haven't been making new videos. And so today I'm going to explain. I will explain myself. So, starting right now. This is video number 9, and originally video number 9 was going to be my gratitude video. And I had 3 of my favorite stories of times when people swooped in and were just absolutely wonderful to me. And I was really coming along with it, and I was close to recording. I do a lot of rehearsals and a lot of run-throughs when I make my videos so that they are conversational and natural instead of sounding scripted, of course. And I want them to be like you are in my living room and I'm talking to you. And that's the aim anyway. I hope it comes across like that. So I was this close to recording, and I got hammered by a major flare-up of anxiety. And I am 48, and I've had an anxiety disorder since I was 6. And I'm used to sort of a low or mid-level of anxiety from day to day. It's it's manageable. And I'm also used to every once in a while getting just struck with a flare-up. So that's what happened this time. And I was very shaky and jittery and jumpy. And my voice was very quivery. And there was no way I could record like that. It would have been a really poor video if I had tried to. So I thought, I'll wait a few days, maybe a week, and maybe the problem would resolve itself by then, because sometimes it does, but this time it did not. So when it didn't, I realized what I needed to do was just kind of put a pause on that video and come back to it when I was well, which I will do, especially now that I am so much better. And then what I would do is what I tell everyone to do. If things are too big, get professional help. So I did that. And I found this fantastic service online called PlushCare. And it provides you with 24-hour access to doctors and therapists. You do everything online. And I got a therapist. She's wonderful. I really love her. And I found a doctor, and he's fantastic. I really like him. He is top-notch, except for one little thing. And so that's really the nexus of why I was really gone so long, is what happened there. So I had a video call with him. I told him about my issues with anxiety. And I told him that I had usually used this one certain medication at 60 milligrams, and it had always helped me. I'm sorry, my mouth is so dry. And he said, okay, that's what we'll do. And he wrote me a prescription and sent it to my local pharmacy. Now, the mistake he made, that little thing, is that he put on the bottle, take one 60 milligram tablet per day. And the reason that was a mistake is at that high dosage, You have to gradually build it into your system. Now, I made a mistake too, because, I'm sorry, I hit my camera. My mistake was, and I knew this, it's somewhere in here, but I forgot, is that when you use at that high a dosage, you have to build it in gradually, build up gradually in your system. I knew that too. But when I picked up my prescription and saw what was written on the bottle, I just started out at 60 milligrams from there. And so I was fine until day 3. On day 3, it felt like I was struck by lightning. At least what I imagine being struck by lightning feels like, since, thank God, I've never been struck. But that's what it was like a lightning bolt went through me. And then I just felt really lethargic. And then I just kind of took to my bed for several days. I continued to feel those sensations. All I wanted to do was sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep. And my anxiety itself just skyrocketed. It was so exaggerated. And the physical symptoms that go along with anxiety, they skyrocketed as well. A lot of hyperventilating, a lot of vomiting. And I'm sorry to be gross, but that's one of the things that happens to me when I am anxious. Thank goodness I had lost most of my appetite. And when I lose my appetite, something's wrong there. I always want to eat. But at least because of that, it was just dry heaves, even though I will say dry heaves hurt. When you have something on your stomach, it's still very unpleasant to be sick to your stomach, but it's not as uncomfortable. It doesn't hurt so much. But anywho, mostly I just slept and slept and slept and slept, like I said. Of course, I did have to get up every day at times because, I do have to walk my dog. If you're not familiar with my dogs, I have 2 dogs, Lucy Ball and Creamsicle, and I have a roommate and he has 3 dogs. So we have 5 dogs in this house and they're dolls. And I have a video. If you're not familiar with Lucy Ball and Creamsicle, there is a video on Lynn Loves You that I encourage you to watch because they are adorable. And if you do watch it, please give it a like. So I do have to walk him, not Lucy Ball, because she's very well behaved and she can just go in the backyard. But Creamsicle, as sweet as he is he jumps that fence. So I do have to walk him on a leash. Ordinarily, that would be fine. But during these days that I was sick, my arms were so weak and so tired and so sore. And the muscles in my lower extremities were so rigid. And I lost a lot of my coordination. And so when I would get out of bed and stand up, I was very, very wobbly. I'd wobble from side to side and forward and backward. And it's a wonder I didn't, fall over, just tip over. But thankfully that never happened. It's very, very hard to walk like that. And I had to keep control over this really strong dog. And he's like a lightning bolt himself. So he would just drag me all over the yard. And I was convinced he was going to, pull me down. And I was going to go to the ground. And then I was going to lose control of him. And that was going to be bad. But thankfully, that never happened. What did happen is I tripped twice in 2 days. The first time I tripped and I hit my head on the wall, not bad. Then I fell to the side and onto a bookcase and smashed it and broke my tip of my pinky, I think. Do you see that? Um, it could have been so much worse. And I can laugh about it, thankfully. The next day when I tripped, I broke neither furniture nor bones. I just got a little scraped up, but that's okay. So I realized finally that, maybe this was the result of side effects. These were side effects, maybe. And I had never had a problem before with side effects on this medication because I hadn't taken too much of it at once. That had never dawned on me, but I thought, let me look that up. So I did. And sure enough, everything I was going through was listed. So I made another appointment with the doctor and I told him what was going on and found out that, I thought this had been going on. I had been on the medication for 7 days and had been sick for 5. Actually, he informed me that I had been on the medicine for 9 days and had been sick for a whole week. So because of all of the sleeping, I had lost 2 days. I had lost 2 days, which was so weird to me. And I've been in a coma, but that was hard to get around, but I got over it. So he told me, he looked up the prescription, and when he saw his mistake, he apologized. I've had doctors make mistakes before. Not one time have they apologized. Not once. But he did. So he's at the top of my list now. He apologized several times, including in the next 2 follow-ups, and took full responsibility. He said, "Mr. Broughton, I'm so sorry I caused this." And I said, "No, you didn't cause it alone. I should have caught it myself." But, so we had both erred, and that's okay. We are both human beings. And I have got to take a sip of tea. I'm so sorry. My mouth is just so dry. Sorry about that. Hopefully, that'll keep me good. So, anyway, for the next 10 days, he told me, snap those tablets in half, and then I'd be on 30 milligram, and then we would build back up to 60. So for the next 10 days, that's what I did. 30 milligrams every day for 10 days. I made a major recovery in those 10 days. What essentially happened was, because I had taken too much at once for 9 days straight, this massive amount of serotonin was dumped into my bloodstream. Thus, all of those yucky symptoms. So by the 10 days, I felt so much better. But I was too scared to go back up to 60 milligrams. And I probably wouldn't have had any trouble with 60 milligrams. Probably none. But I didn't want to risk it. So I told him that I didn't want to do that, and I'd rather just try something new. So he put me on something new. He wrote very specific. He told me very specifically how to do it. 2.5 milligrams for 4 days, then 5 milligrams for 4 days, then 10, and hopefully that's the magic number. And he also put it on the prescription bottle. So there was no way of me goofing up this time. And I've been on this medication for 18 days, 10 of those days at 10 milligrams. And I have made almost a full recovery from that sickness. And I do feel better anxiety-wise. I do think it's helping me that way. So obviously, feeling like that, I couldn't create any new content. And it's not like any of you were badgering me to. I just felt I needed to explain. And there it is. And I'd love to think that there will never be any more pauses in my YouTubing, but I don't know that won't happen again. I didn't know this would happen. We have only so little control, so much control, I should say, over our lives. And I would love to think that with continued therapy and continuing on this medication and keeping it good, that at some point in my life, I will be free of this anxiety disorder, just totally free of it. And maybe that will happen, but it might not. I'm a very positive man, but I'm also a very realistic man. And I know that sometimes the best we can do is very tightly control things. And I feel like very tightly controlling this is beating it. And I'm happy with that. Not shutting the door on being cured of this, but just saying, if I can just keep it down, then I'm good for now. Anyway. Now, I want to thank everybody who checked in on me and showed me a lot of concern and did ask why I wasn't making any new videos or tweeting as much. Thank you for being there for me. Your love is wonderful love, and I feel so loved. Thank you for that. To those who, actually text me and everything, and I didn't get back to you, I wasn't ghosting you, I promise. I just tend to isolate when I get like this. And, even though I was in bed most of the time, in a way, I'm like, I crawl under the bed, in a way. Not literally, obviously. That's just how I tend to do things. For my friends on Telegram, one of you in particular, you know who you are. Thank you so much for being there for me too, helping me keep my head up, keeping me joyful, checking in on me all the time and telling me, hey, don't panic. You'll get your equilibrium back. Just take your time. Just give it the time you need. And for really making me feel so loved. Thank you so much. You fill me with joy. Again, you know who you are. And I love you very, very much. Thank you for being in my life. And I want to thank my roommate who helps me keep my head up and really does, keep me joyful, always making me laugh every single day, especially while this was going on, for showing the great concern you had for me and making me feel loved and literally picking me up off the ground. Thank you. Thank you, bud. You are the greatest, and I love you. So, before I close, I want to reiterate 3 big truths about all of you. So the first thing is you're very important to a whole lot of people, including a whole lot of people who are very important to you. And you matter a whole lot to a whole lot of people, including a whole lot of people who matter a whole lot to you. But the biggest truth of them all is you are very well loved and very adored by a whole lot of people, including a whole lot of people who are very well loved and adored by you. I hope that you love yourself and adore yourself a whole lot and value yourself a whole lot too. You should. You're worth it. Absolutely. And I want you to think on that and meditate on that. Really get that in here. Not just today, but from today on. From today forward. Do it so much that it saturates your brain and your heart and your soul and your spirit, so that when you look in the mirror, you see the great work of beauty that you are, and let yourself be filled with a great abundance of wonderful, well-deserved self-confidence. Yes, well-deserved self-confidence. And let that carry you like the great, big, gorgeous giant that you are everywhere you go in life. And I'm not talking about being arrogant or conceited or cocky. Absolutely not. And don't worry about being those things. You'll never be those things. You're too nice and too good ever to be ugly like that. I'm talking about wonderful, well-deserved self-confidence and a great abundance of it. So now I need to ask you 3 favors. And the first favor is, please like this video right now. Every time my videos get likes, I get a dose of much needed self-confidence myself. And my videos become much more visible to a lot more people. And I want my videos to be seen by lots and lots of people. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of people. Because I am ambitious. Also, if you have not yet done so, please subscribe to Lynn Loves You. Be my subscriber number 202. As I mentioned earlier, my current goal is 300 subscribers, then 400, then 500, on down to 1,000, and then the sky's the limit after that. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I can be monetized by YouTube, which I really want to be monetized by YouTube. Also, sometime soon, hopefully, but it will happen, I'm going to set up a Patreon account. I will set up a Patreon account, and, you know, to me, this is my job, my career, and to make it a full-fledged career, I want it to be, to make it a full-fledged career, I want to make a living at it, and not just a living, but a great living. I'm not, a really great living. That's what I want. I would do this for free like I am now, but I really do, I want to earn a really terrific living doing this. I need all of your help to do so. I can't do this without you. And I don't want to do it without you. I wouldn't want to do it I wouldn't want to, even if I could. I really like needing your help because I love you so much. If that makes sense to me. Now, one other favor, please follow me on Twitter. My handle is Lynn Broughton4. That is LYNN, BROUGHTON, and the number 4. I am beginning to tweet more, so right now, I can promise to put a smile on your face 3 to 4 times a week. At some point, it is going to be at least once a day, every day, with my positive, shimmering, sugary, goofy tweets They're a lot like me. I'm very positive and I am shimmering and sugary and goofy. And a lot of people like me that love me that way. Might be too much for some, but I'm beginning to love myself that way too. So anyway, until next time, this has been Lynn Loves You, and I'm your host, Lynn Broughton, and I love you. I really do. I'm sorry, but I told you I was goofy. Anyway, thank you for watching.